70% of Americans believe climate change should be a national priority and supported our being part of Paris. I have a 2-month-old daughter, her name's Audrey, and I'm terrified about Trump's reckless decisions to pull us out of Paris and to pull back on bipartisan supported issues on the environment. This is serious stuff, and I think you agree or you wouldn't have been part of that legislation. These decisions really do nothing to create jobs, and they're setting us back. How can you support and respect Trump's decision to pull out of Paris and an agreement that every other nation but Syria and Nicaragua have signed on to?
And as we had indicated, because the president has that authority, and President Obama entered into this agreement unilaterally, this president has the authority to unilaterally withdraw from this agreement.
He had the entire nation supporting.
But where you and I agree, is that climate change is something that I do want to make a priority, and is something that we want to address in our term as a representative of the district. That's why we've signed on to the resolution. That is why we signed on to the caucus to be a part of that as we go forward. But I will tell you that I do support all of the above. I'm very clear in our position.
Wrong.
And I understand the disagreement.
You can't be for climate and be all of the above.
So some folks want to have us go to alternatives and renewables tomorrow.
Yes.
And we can do that.
I understand that concern. But I don't think that's a feasible, practical position for us to be in as a nation, where you turn off a fossil fuel economy in one day. So we need to agree.
Congressman Reed, so if you are committed to this issue, if you are committed to being part of the climate change caucus, if, as you say, you are committed to standing up for efforts to fight the worst effects of climate change, if that is what you're saying to your constituents, will you publicly commit that in the upcoming spending negotiations, you will vote no on EPA cuts, vote no on cuts to Department of Energy programs for renewable energy, vote to preserve tax credits for renewable energy? You have a chance to vote to actually stand by these commitments. Will you publicly commit to your constituents to do that? Sure.
So the question you're advocating for me to do is to shut the government down. Because voting no is to shut the government down. That's what you're advocating for, just so we know what that vote represents. Now what we are going to do in the process,
You are a representative. It's not just a voice, it's a vote. We want you to vote against the cuts.
Shut it down before.
I understand the answer.
You understand the full extent of the anger.
We disagree on many of the issues that we are talking about here today. So I appreciate that. We represent 717,000. There's a process for that, and I respect that process.
What brought me to the meeting today for Tom Reed is just a long list of concerns. I suppose the most recent is the completely reckless and irresponsible decision out of the White House to begin the process of withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord. But then, of course, also the utterly irresponsible vote that Tom Reed and many of his fellow Republicans took earlier this month to begin the process of repealing the Affordable Care Act, gutting Medicaid, taking actions that, if passed into law, will collapse the hospital budgets across the state of New York and across the country. And just in general, a sense that people who should know better, and I absolutely include Tom Reed on the list of people who should know better, who are rolling over and allowing Trump to take this country in a very dangerous direction. And I think it's important to raise our voices, and I think every time we show up for a meeting, we're showing that we can also show up to knock on doors, to make phone calls, to collect signatures, to get out the vote, and to vote this Congress out in 520 days.